It would explode and destroy all of New York City, parts of Connecticut and New Jersey.
One of the brightest stars in our night sky is on the verge of a supernova explosion, and we have just received the news that if it does explode, it could potentially destroy our planet. You heard that right. Theoretical physicist Michio Kaku has just revealed that in 2 weeks, this massive star is set to explode. This could bring some serious consequences, not only for space, but also for our solar system and possibly Earth. So what's going to happen in 2 weeks? Are we safe from this explosion, or is this the end? Let's find out. The star on the verge of explosion. The star we are talking about is Betelgeuse, which is one of the most iconic stars up there in the night sky. If you have ever looked up at the constellation Orion, you have probably seen it. It is that reddish star that's hard to miss. In fact, it is so close to us that it is visible to our naked eye. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant, which basically means it is a star that has lived a long life and is now in its final stages. And the thing is, it is massive. It is a star that's more than 700 times the size of our sun. Imagine that. No wonder it has caught the attention of astronomers for years. Now, the reason we are even talking about Betelgeuse is that it is acting a little strange. For a while now, it has been going through these odd dimming and brightening phases. You might have heard about the huge dimming event that happened between late 2019 and early 2020. People started thinking, is Betelgeuse about to blow? After all, when a star like this starts to change rapidly, it usually means something big is coming, like a supernova. What's a supernova? You see, a supernova is one of the most powerful events in the universe. When a star like Betelgeuse explodes, the blast is so intense it can outshine entire galaxies. That's right. One star exploding can be brighter than billions of stars combined. Now, how cool and terrifying is that? If Betelgeuse were to go supernova, we would get an epic light show here on Earth. It could even be as bright as the full moon, visible during the day, and it could last for weeks or even months. But then Michio Kaku warned us about something terrible. He said that things can get a little more serious for us. He is suggesting that if Betelgeuse explodes, it could have direct consequences for Earth. Yes, a star that's over 600 light years away could potentially impact us. That's a long distance, but the kind of energy released in a supernova is no joke. When a star like Betelgeuse goes supernova, it does not just release light. There is a ton of energy involved, like radiation, particles, shock waves, and everything between them. One of the biggest concerns is gamma radiation. Now, gamma rays are extremely powerful electromagnetic waves, and if Earth were to get hit by them in large doses, it could be catastrophic. Think of all the ways it could mess with our planet's atmosphere, not to mention the biosphere. That's us, by the way. But don't start panicking just yet. Thankfully, Betelgeuse is far enough away that the gamma rays from its explosion would most likely lose a lot of their energy by the time they reach us. So, the chances of a gamma ray apocalypse are pretty slim. But even if it is not the end of the world, there are still some real concerns to keep in mind. Kaku points out that even if we don't get hit with lethal doses of radiation, the explosion could still cause some major disruptions here on Earth. For example, it would mess up satellite communications, GPS systems, and even electrical grids. We might be looking at serious problems. And then there are cosmic rays, which are high-energy particles that get shot out during a supernova. These rays could penetrate Earth's magnetic field, potentially leading to higher radiation levels on the surface. This might not sound like a big deal at first, but it could pose risks for people living at higher altitudes or frequent flyers. And this could also affect electronic devices and technology. It can cause malfunctions, breakdowns, etc. But according to Kaku, there is a silver lining here as well. How could a star explosion so close to us be good? What silver lining is he talking about? Wealth of data. Beyond all the immediate concerns for Earth, the explosion of Betelgeuse would also be a huge deal for science. If it happens in our lifetime, we would be able to study a supernova up close and personal, in real time. That's a rare opportunity. It could give us new insights into how stars die and how elements get scattered across the universe, like elements that could eventually form new stars and even planets. There's also the question of how this explosion could affect nearby stars. Betelgeuse might be far from Earth, but in cosmic terms, it is still relatively close to other stars in the Orion constellation. The shock wave from a supernova could trigger new star formation in nearby gas clouds, which would be fascinating to observe. We might even get a better understanding of how black holes or neutron stars are formed, which are often the remnants left behind after these massive explosions. So, while Betelgeuse going supernova would be an unforgettable sight, it is not just a pretty light show. There are real, tangible effects that could come with it, both for Earth and the wider universe. Breakthroughs. Now let's talk about why scientists, including Michio Kaku, are actually excited about Betelgeuse potentially going supernova. Let's be real for a second. Supernova are rare, and when they do happen, they are usually so far away that we don't get a chance to study them in detail. But Betelgeuse is relatively close, in cosmic terms anyway, sitting about 640 light-years away from us. First of all, this would give us incredible insight into how stars like Betelgeuse evolve and die. We have got theories and models, sure, but nothing beats observing something in real time. And the thing is, this would not just answer questions about Betelgeuse itself. It could help scientists refine their understanding of how massive stars live, die, and ultimately shape the universe. The data collected could lead to breakthroughs in our knowledge of stellar mechanics, how elements are formed, and even how galaxies evolve over time. Think about it. Betelgeuse exploding would let scientists observe the entire process, from the star's core collapse to the shockwave moving through its outer layers. This is the kind of stuff astrophysicists dream about. All the different types of radiation that will be released, like gamma rays, X-rays, and who knows what else, would give us a real-time glimpse into the life cycle of stars. The interesting thing is that this star also has cultural significance. Let's see how. Cultural significance. Now, besides the sheer scientific value, Betelgeuse holds a special place in human history and culture. This is not just another star. For thousands of years, people from different civilizations have looked up at Orion and marveled at Betelgeuse. It has been part of mythology, storytelling, and stargazing. If it were to suddenly explode, it would be like watching a cosmic celebrity's dramatic exit. And let's not underestimate the human fascination with space. A supernova this close would reignite our curiosity about the universe. It might even push more people to look up and wonder what else is out there. With the constant distractions on Earth, a cosmic event like this could unite people in a way we don't often see. Everyone, from scientists to the average person, looking at the same part of the sky in awe. Betelgeuse going supernova would serve as a reminder of the massive, ever-changing nature of the cosmos. It might even inspire more conversations about space exploration, science, and humanity's place in the universe. So, when exactly is this star going to explode? Date of explosion. Kaku has hinted that this supernova might happen in as little as 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks. That's not a lot of time to mentally prepare for something of this scale. Now, predicting a supernova is notoriously hard. It is not like you can just set a date in your calendar and wait for it. But if Kaku and other astronomers are picking up signs, like shifts in Betelgeuse's brightness or changes in its radiation output, then we might actually be closer to witnessing this event than we think. That being said, supernovae are not exactly predictable. While Betelgeuse is definitely nearing the end of its life, it could still surprise us and stick around for decades or even centuries. This star has been acting up with its dimming and brightening, but that does not guarantee it is about to blow. This is a process that happens over millions of years. So in cosmic terms, 2 weeks is basically a blink of an eye. Still, the possibility has everyone on the edge of their seats. If Betelgeuse does explode, though, scientists are going to be all over it. Telescopes across the globe, and even ones in space, will be pointed at it, collecting as much data as possible. It is going to be a massive collaborative effort, with teams from different fields working together to study every aspect of the explosion. They will be looking at everything from how the star collapses to how the shock wave spreads through its layers. And it is not just optical telescopes either. X-ray and gamma-ray detectors will be key to understanding what's going on out there. And let's not forget the public reaction. Once news gets out that Betelgeuse is about to explode, it is going to be everywhere. On social media, in the news, and through science communicators explaining what's happening and what we can expect. It will become a global event with people gathering to watch this cosmic show, maybe even with special viewing parties like what happened during the recent solar eclipse. But the thing is, no one really knows when it will happen. We could be waiting, watching the star for any hint of activity, and suddenly, boom. Or it might drag on for days, weeks, or even longer, building anticipation. And when it does happen, it will serve as a reminder of just how unpredictable and violent the universe can be. So, while we often think of the stars in the night sky as constant and unchanging, Betelgeuse is proof that they are anything but. Stars are dynamic, constantly evolving, and sometimes they put on one heck of a show. Now, what will be the implications of such a big explosion? Implications. When it comes to the implications of Betelgeuse going supernova, we are looking at a massive opportunity for scientists to learn, not just another dazzling light show. Supernova are typically hard to study in their early stages, mostly because they happen so far away. By the time their light reaches Earth, we miss a lot of the details. But with Betelgeuse, things are different. This supernova would be happening right in our cosmic backyard, and that changes everything. Let's break it down. When this supernova happens, scientists would finally see up close how a massive star like Betelgeuse dies and what exactly happens in those last moments. What's even better is that scientists would not just be limited to one type of observation. With Betelgeuse so close, we would be able to study it in multiple wavelengths of light, like visible, infrared, ultraviolet, and even radio waves. Each one of these tells us something different. For example, infrared light could show how the gas and dust ejected by the supernova cool down, while ultraviolet and X-rays could give us clues about the shock waves and how they interact with the star's outer layers. And let's not forget radio telescopes. They would be picking up on the charged particles going through space, giving us even more info on the explosion's dynamics. All the data collected from different wavelengths would allow researchers to fine-tune their models of supernova, making their predictions more accurate. Right now, most of what we know comes from distant supernova, where we have to rely on theory and limited observations. Betelgeuse could change that, potentially revolutionizing how we understand not just star death, but the entire life cycle of massive stars. And then after the explosion, what's left of Betelgeuse could give us insight into some of the most mysterious objects in the universe: neutron stars and black holes. Depending on how massive Betelgeuse actually is, it could either collapse into a neutron star or, if it is heavy enough, a black hole. Neutron stars are already mind-boggling. They have the mass of the sun crammed and smashed into something just a few kilometers across. But a black hole? That's even more extreme, with gravity so strong that not even light can escape. If Betelgeuse does collapse into a black hole, scientists would have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study the formation of such an object up close. They would not be able to see the black hole itself since, black holes cannot be directly observed, but they could definitely track its effects on the surrounding space. Gravitational waves, X-rays from matter falling into the event horizon, it would all be there for scientists to study in real time. Beyond the scientific excitement, there are some pretty interesting philosophical implications as well. For centuries, people have looked up at the sky and used celestial events as symbols or omens. While we might not think of them in the same way today, seeing a star explode in the sky would still have a huge psychological impact. In a world where everything is fast-paced and tech-driven, something like this could make people stop and think about the sheer power of the universe. a force that makes our daily struggles seem pretty small in comparison. And who knows? A supernova like this could inspire a whole new generation of space enthusiasts, astronomers, and scientists. Just like the moon landing and the discovery of exoplanets have sparked public interest in space, Betelgeuse's explosion could reignite humanity's curiosity about the cosmos. Schools and universities might even see a surge in students interested in astronomy and astrophysics, all thanks to this one massive event. On a practical note, a lot of resources would be mobilized to study this event. Space agencies like NASA and the European Space Agency would be working together with research institutions worldwide. Telescopes, satellites, and observatories would be tuned in, and there might even be new missions launched to collect as much data as possible. This would be a big deal, not just for the scientific community, but for humanity's understanding of our place in the universe. What other scientific advancements can we expect after this supernova takes place? Advancements. When Betelgeuse finally goes supernova, the scientific advancements we could see are mind-blowing. One of the most exciting possibilities is detecting gravitational waves. These are ripples in space-time that were first predicted by Einstein, and while we have detected them from black holes and neutron star collisions, a supernova is another story. If we can catch gravitational waves from Betelgeuse's explosion, we could study the star's internal structure. It could also confirm whether Betelgeuse leaves behind a neutron star or forms a black hole. That's a huge deal for astrophysics, giving us a real-time look at gravity in extreme conditions. With advanced detectors like LIGO and Virgo getting more sensitive, the ability to capture these waves from a nearby supernova would be a major breakthrough. It would help refine our models of how gravity works when massive stars die, which could have implications far beyond just this one event. And then, magnetism is another fascinating aspect of what could happen post-explosion. Betelgeuse, like other massive stars, has a powerful magnetic field. When the star explodes, that field could be amplified to insane levels. If a neutron star is formed, we might even be looking at the birth of a magnetar. These are the most magnetic objects in the universe, with fields 1,000 trillion times stronger than Earth's. There would be so much to learn about when we look at something like that up close. Magnetars emit bursts of X-rays and gamma rays, and being able to observe one that's just formed would give scientists insights into how these emissions happen. Then there is the chemistry of it all. When Betelgeuse blows up, it will scatter a ton of heavy elements, like iron, carbon, silicon, into space. These elements are the building blocks for rocky planets like Earth. So by studying what's ejected, scientists could get a better idea of how planets form and even how life can start. These elements are important for life as we know it, and without them, the universe would be a very different place. Observing the aftermath of the explosion could help us understand how the materials needed for life spread across the galaxy. Speaking of life, Betelgeuse's explosion could also help us understand how complex molecules, including organic compounds, form in space. It might not create life directly, but studying how these molecules survive in harsh environments could provide clues about how the chemistry of life begins. And let's not forget about star formation. Supernova like this one can start the birth of new stars by sending shock waves through nearby clouds of gas and dust. The Orion constellation, where Betelgeuse is located, is already known for being a stellar nursery. Betelgeuse's explosion could accelerate the star formation in this region, giving scientists a chance to observe how stars are born after such a massive event. So, when Betelgeuse finally goes supernova, it will be way more than just an epic light show. This could totally shake up science, giving us new insights into gravity, magnetism, chemistry, and how stars are born. In short, it might completely change how we understand the universe for generations to come. Have you studied supernovas before? What other fascinating things do you know about them? Share with us in the comments below. If you want to hear more shocking news, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we have got a lot more of this. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.